Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Ain't That Right. I'm your host, Duncan Dad, here on the Culture Sports Digital Network, SR 1029, The Game, and of course, proud partners with the Odyssey app. Be sure to check out everybody on the Odyssey channel. You can look us up, Coastal Sports Digital Network there. We're live, coming to you from Studio DD here in the Northeast. Great day today. Just about 75 degrees. Cool breeze coming through. Thought about playing golf earlier, but I had a couple other obligations to take care of. That being said, this is probably one of the greatest international quote unquote days or national days that they have to celebrate on the year. Um, it applies pretty much to everyone, and it's one of those staples when you have conversations with individuals, and you're like, if you ask so and so if they prefer or they like or they don't like this. Now, take all your dietary restrictions and put them to the side. Take all of your, uh, cheat meals, things like that to the side, and it's sort of like one of those things where you ask them like, do you like pizza? And someone's like, I don't like pizza. And you're like, whoa, hold on a second. We probably one of like the most basic delivery methods for foods. We're going to get into that episode down the line. But today is International Burger Day. There's a whole bunch of controversy on how this begins, like any good day, like any good thing that's been invented or come around. We're looking at you, Thomas Edison, with the light bulb. If you get that joke, you get that joke. Eventually, it was settled on that brothers from Wisconsin or brothers from New York at one of the fairs or whatever, they supposedly introduced the first burger. However, I do know of a place in the New England, Boston area where two gentlemen decided to take two pieces of toast and smash a patty in between it, a la the hamburger was born. But why do we celebrate hamburgers, right? I mean, they come in all shapes and sizes. And how in the hell does that relate to the three G's with DD? Well, growth rates, giving back. And I think at this point, you know where we're going with this, right? Every now and then, life gives us a holiday, right? Like the pizza, it's simple. Feels really simple on the surface. Today's National Ice Cream Day. Today's National Hamburger Day. It's National Burger Day. But if you look into it a little bit deeper and you start to deconstruct it, because that's all about burgers, right? It's preaching to us this entire sermon, this vision, this recipe. And today, on International Burger Day, that just happens to be one of those days. And it sets us up perfectly. It's like tossing a softball, and it looks like a beach ball, and you're standing there just ready to whack it. Because a burger, now, I'm going to put the little caveat on there now. They have vegan burgers. They've got plant-based burgers, soy burgers. So we're not just talking about meat burgers, although that's what I prefer. The construct of the burger, a really well-built burger, it's a blueprint for how we're supposed to build ourselves. It really is. Go with me with this, right? Because you start with a foundation, right? You add what nourishes you. You season it with what makes it unique to you, your preference, your taste, and then you stack it layer by layer by layer by layer, experience by experience, until it becomes something worth serving out to the world, where we do what? We're giving back, giving again. And that's the growth. See, when you look around and you realize that everybody's burger, everybody's life looks different, some folks pile it on high. And you're like, how do you have so much going on? Other people, very straightforward, very simple. Some individuals still trying to figure out, I like this kind of sauce. I don't like that kind of sauce. I like this particular type of pickle. I don't like that particular type of pickle. If I'm going to put mustard on, I'm just going to put ketchup on this thing. Everybody's got their own rules for it. That's the best part about it. And that's where our grace steps in, because we understand that we're all cooking at different temperatures. We're all cooking at different levels. We're all cooking on different grills and in different seasons, right? We talked about this before when we went through our seasons. Like, you can be at different stages in your life in different seasons and doing particular things on the same track as another individual. It's going to look completely different. And finally, the burger that we put together, right? What's the best part about those things? I mean, McDonald's burgers here and there used to be great when I was a kid, but it's supposed to be shared, right? Cookouts, tailgates, barbecues, block parties. Burgers It's a point of gathering. And that's the part where you're giving back because you're representing yourself as your own burger. You're seeing somebody. Oh, I like how you layered that. Maybe I'll incorporate some of that into my life. Maybe I won't. Maybe that's just not for me. But on this International Burger Day, we build our burger like we build our life. It's a metaphor that we use for the intentional construction of what we are undertaking. You don't just throw a burger together. You're very specific when you make your burger. It's thought out, purpose, and that's the growth, right? Certain individuals grab a bun. Other ones, it's got to be toasted. It's got to have sesame seeds. Got to be a brioche bun. And that's just where you're starting. You haven't even put anything into this yet. But the bun is your foundation, right? Like us, it's your habits. It's your values. It's your discipline. It's important. This doesn't mean you can't go grab something else or incorporate something else into your life. But 9 times out of 10, it probably won't hold up to what you're trying to put onto it. If you want to add a lot of layers, you got to have a solid foundation. If you want to saturate it with the sauces and the condiments, you need to have a strong base and a strong layer, particular to yourself. But the patty that you form and you shape, that you're building, that's your identity. That's what you're doing when no one else is watching, right? That's the integrity component. That's the self-discipline component. That's the I'm showing up for myself no matter what's going on. I don't care about the little, gold stars on my paper. I'm doing it for me because this is what I want to put on top of my foundation. That's the presentation of everything that comes after that rests on that patty. As we go through life, as we experience things, those are our toppings. It's our wins, it's our losses, the lessons, the gains. And if you decide to put your secret sauce, your special sauce, your aioli, your, favorite mix. I know people, they do like mustard, mayonnaise, and ketchup. Some people do mustard and ketchup. Some people do barbecue sauce. Some people, they don't want anything. Like just give me a little bit of salt and pepper. Just a little bit, just a little hit on top and good. But that's what you bring into the world because you've layered yourself to now be presented and enjoyed and shared with everyone else. If you are not living the life that you want to live or that you want to do, then you have the opportunity to change the ingredients. Sometimes it sucks. Sometimes you're bound by responsibility. Sometimes you're bound by obligations. But even in those instances, you can try to switch up the ingredients a little bit. Add something fresh. Do something new. Remove some things that might be wearing you down. That's a little too spicy. I got to cut that back. Yeah, this is taking too much time. I really need to be more mindful of that. Upgrade from your standardized, cookie-cutter, generic routine to something that holds more value. I.e., going through the motions is great. But if you're not receiving something and growing, and receiving in the sense that you're receiving this affirmation of personal growth and you're not being brought down, you're not just cycling through it, you're not just showing up, right? You're receiving the energy that you're actually putting out come back to you. Important. And choose quality over convenience. Some things and some people and some places, we just do it. Okay? But is it bringing a quantifiable good into your existence? A burger is built. So is a person. Ain't that right? That's right. Grace. Everybody's burger, everybody's toppings, everybody's interpretation of how they're building is going to look different. We have a hard time with that because many times we're told, you got to make it like this. You should be like that. Well, when I did X, Y, and Z. That's great. And I'm happy that it worked for you. And I know right now you're projecting a lot onto me and my situation because you don't experience and see the way that I see things, that I build, the ingredients that I want on my particular burger, on my plate, and in my life. Now, granted, Murphy Button, again, we understand you. Some people like it messy. You ever know somebody like that? They have to exist in chaos. They have to exist in some sort of crisis, turmoil, where they're always addressing and fixing problems. I fall into that sometimes. That's why I was good with price negotiation. It's very taxing, can be very strained on people, places, things, relationships, personal health. Some people like to keep it simple, nice and plain. You see this a lot with kids. I want a burger with ketchup and cheese. I want a burger, just the meat and the burger, just the meat and the cheese. Okay. They're growing, they're experienced, they're coming into their own. But it's very straightforward. You don't leave a lot of room for interpretation, you don't leave a lot of room for error. Some people like to stack and stack and stack and stack and stack. Why? Because they feel as if the more that's on their plate, the more that they can keep themselves invested in, it'll yield a better result for themselves. Why? Because if I'm given all this energy when, well, I better have something to come back for me. Or if I do all of this, then it'll be acknowledged when I say, oh, I'm tired and I'm run down. Some, not even plain, not even high, not even messy, just simple, straightforward. Lettuce, tomato, onion, maybe a little bit of mustard, throw a piece of cheese on there, boom, out the door. I don't want the pepper jack cheese. I don't want your crinkle cut fried onion, little nesty thing on top of it. I don't want my bun to be all, buttered and grilled. I don't know. Just give me the burger. Nice and easy. Know exactly what I'm getting, what I'm doing. I don't need all this other praise. I got a little couple things on my plate. That's cool. But on this International Burger Day, it reiterates and reminds us all that we're not allowed, even though we will, we're not in a position to judge someone else's toppings. Sometimes people got toppings on their burgers in their life that they can't control. Opposite side of the coin on the Murphy Button. Don't put down and shame other people for what they're still trying to chew through and go through in their life. Help them. Support them. Sometimes you put something into your life and you've got to literally eat it and go through it in order to get to this particular lesson. Yeah, you know what? Didn't like that relationship. Didn't like how it made me. Didn't like how I made the other person. I didn't like that job. I didn't like going down that road. I compromised too much of myself. I gave too much of myself away. I didn't give myself enough time, enough credit. But you're going to sit there and be like, God, look at that person. Look at that idiot. No. Be there. Be present. Offer a sounding board. You may not get anything back from offering a sounding board, being there, or even pretending to be interested or giving actual advice. Why? Because that's them and that's their own choice, and that's where they're going to keep putting their own toppings on. And don't assume that just because the way that you do it, the way that you build it, the way that you construct your burger is the universal accepted recipe of how it should be. Oh, I'm not going to spend time or interact or do this or do that or go there and be with this person, place, and thing and have that experience because, well, I don't like it. Do you have a personal choice? Of course you do. Do you have personal preferences? Of course you do. But cutting oneself off and putting yourself into this position of, I hate to use the word, but, like, you're not above someone else. You don't have to break bread with them all the time. You don't have to interact with them all the time, but you should at least be open to the fact that the way someone else goes about their day is particular and unique to them. And even though you may perceive it not to be correct and right, because it doesn't fit into your particular set of standards or values or what you prioritize, maybe it does for them, right? You don't know what someone else is going through until you're going through it with them. And even then, it's still very unique and understood to the individual. So the grace tells us, just like when we were cooking versus when we were baking, that people will grow, people will evolve in their own time, at their own temperature. Some things will take longer for you than it will for other people, and vice versa. That's fine. Some folks, some people are still marinating their burger. They're still putting together ingredients in this patty in their life. Some people are where? Still on the grill. Right? Haven't been flipped yet. And don't pressure burgers. Right? Just don't pressure burgers. Some people like things to be rare, medium well. A perfect example, talk about the recipe not being universal. I cringe sometimes when I hear some people say, oh, I want my burger or my steak done well. I'm like, what are you doing? You're taking everything away from the meat. That's not cool. But that's how they like it. That's what works for them. That's their preference. Doesn't mean I have to eat it that way? No. Doesn't mean that I'm not going to sit down and share their company? Of course I will. Because I respect them as an individual and what they do and how they go about it and how they interpret things. Cool. Still might give them a little side eye. Ask them if they want, Heinz 57, shout out to Heinz, Pittsburgh. Or, some ketchup, which that's a Patrick Mahomes joke for another day. Don't ever put ketchup on a steak. And some burgers, some people, in their development, they're resting before they're ready to serve. Like one of the worst things you can do, and we'll make a lot of food analogies today, is rush to serve things that need to rest a minute. We have all this buildup, all this cooking, all this high temperature, all this pressure, all these things going on in our life. And what we do a lot of times is, instead of giving ourselves the moment to pause and be like, oh, okay, let the juices flow back out, let things be settled, we start piling crap right back on top of it because we're 0 to 1,000,000 miles an hour without any choice. But the grace is universal. It tastes good on everybody, on everything. Why? Because it's unique to them. Now, can you be abusive with the grace? I'm sure you can. Can you be mismanaging with it? Of course you can. There's always the two sides to the coin, man. But the giving back on Burger Day, as we use this metaphor, this analogy, like you're feeding someone. You're feeding yourself, number one, which is an often missed point. But the ingredients that you bring into your life, have in your life, exist in your life, surrounding your life, put into your life. Some by choice, some not by choice. Some by responsibility, some by demands that go beyond your control. We're empathetic. But you're feeding yourself that. Is it hard to break away from those situations at times? Of course it is. Is it financially hard? Of course it is. Is it emotionally, physically, spiritually? Yes, check all the boxes. But burgers in general, great vehicle because it's communal, right? We'll put McDonald's to the side, we'll put Burger King to the side, we'll put Five Guys to the side for a second. Jack in the Box, In-N-Out, all you guys out west. Like, when you make a burger, the first thing that usually comes to mind is like, oh, having a barbecue, having a cookout, right? It's very hard to like, and this is specific to the construction. Like you don't just make one burger, right? So that idea of making something of yourself with these layers, with these condiments, with these experiences to be shared with other individuals is the essence of us giving back on this International Burger Day. How can we do that in a very simple sense, and how can we do that in a greater sense? I mean, patronize people, buy a meal for someone, tip your server like you would like to be tipped, maybe, when you go and get your burger. Invite someone over, have a barbecue, have people together, gather, host a cookout. Why is it a reciprocated process? Because giving back and what you give back of yourself, it feeds people, right? It feeds people both literally and spiritually. And if you're not careful, you will have an emotional effect on these individuals as well. Well, not only yourself. And in that response, the literal response of feeding someone, emotionally involved, giving of yourself, you want to make sure that you're giving a quality product. Because a lot of times, myself included, I haven't given a quality product. I've given a really crappy product. I've given you your, no shade to White Castle, but I've given you your White Castle sliders that have been sitting up on the hot plate for a while. And that's very insightful, very meaningful. And you hope to not do that. But you need to know why and what it is that you're giving. Because sometimes the most powerful thing you can give to someone is a piece of yourself. A moment where they feel recognized, they feel seen, they feel affirmed, they feel acknowledged. Because again, everyone is building their burger their own way, going through it at their own time, their own speed, and their own pace. They might not have all of the resources available to them. So when you engage, when you present yourself, when you're giving and sharing yourself, your own burger, what you've made, what your creation is it having a positive impact, a negative impact, or are you just being uninvolved, blind eye? International Burger Day. Remember that life is the grill that is going to test us and try our ingredients. Some things are going to call for it to be a little more spicy. Some things a little more cool, a little mellow. Quality is important because you have choice of the ingredients. This doesn't mean that we all start out at the same grocery store, farmer's market, shopping mall. There's your catch. But you have the choice in those particular places with those particular people to unequivocally be in control and take charge of those ingredients. Hey, I like you. I respect you. I value everything that you're doing for yourself, but I don't want to involve myself with this. Nothing against you. It's just not where I'm going, where I want to be, who I want to be around. The world is always waiting to give you a critique. It's always, metaphorically, waiting to taste what you're cooking. Oh, you're an idiot. Oh, wow, that's really good. Oh, I'm so proud of you. Why did you waste so much time? What were you even thinking? Wow, that's amazing. Congratulations. You will always garner a response. Is what you're building, what you're piling on, what your toppings are. Is it rooted in a good foundation? Is it a quality meal? Is it a quality version of yourself that you're presenting? Because every single day that you go out, that you face the world, that you engage, you are always reshaping that patty, testing it on the grill, or the skillet, or the stove, Or I've even seen people do it in the microwave. That's crazy. And adding the toppings that fit that day. Your base should be pretty solid. What is it? What works for you? What gets you through? What's going to hold up? What's going to be my placeholder? What's going to be my lid? In between, you got your cupboard, you got your condiments, you got everything over here. But some days, we know we all have them. You're like, man, that was a really good, really productive day. Could be work related, could be relationship related, could be spiritually related. It was a good day. You engaged, you're in, you're on it. Other times, you're like, oh, man, I just really don't want to get out of bed today. You have all of the control in how you respond with the resources available to you. What you don't have control over is how someone else is going to interpret that. Now, can you have a little say in it if you are an a-hole or if you're kind? Yeah, absolutely. But if you were just to go and present oneself with the way you built your burger and say nothing, someone is going to have an opinion about that. And you are going to hear about that opinion. Why? Because that's what we do. We listen to opinions. It shapes us. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. Get back to our daily disciplines, priority practices. Get back to that foundation. Build your burger in your own way. Season your burger. Marinate your burger. Marinate your life with good graces. And when you give back by serving that completed masterpiece that is unto yourself, be proud of it. Be proud of it. Because there's times, like I said before, you've probably served a version of yourself that you're like, man, I'd like to take that back. Wish I could put it in neutral. Wish I could just, hit reverse and, roll the odometer back. Shout out to Cameron Ferris Bueller. But that's not how life works, right? That's why it's important. Quality people, quality ingredients, quality choices, strong foundation, and allowing it to develop in your own time. This doesn't mean that you're lazy as AF. No. This means that you are moving at the pace that is right for you. Because if not, everything else, that's going to get messed up. It's going to get messed up. As we wrap up our burger journey, and maybe people go outside and have a burger today. Who knows? It's a good idea. I think I got some extra buns laying around. Remember that life is the grill. Right? Every single day that we wake up, get out there, challenge it, confront it, we get another chance to build something that's worth tasting, worth taking a chance on, worth hiring, worth going out with. If your foundation feels stale, if the buns, are not fresh, refresh it. That means don't be afraid to look at your system, your priority practice, your daily disciplines, and switch it up a little bit. Oh, by the way, that's going to take a little bit of work. Oh, by the way, it's going to take a little bit of effort. Oh, by the way, it's probably not going to feel comfortable when you start. If your identity feels undercooked, you didn't leave it on the heat long enough, you didn't put it through the crucible long enough, you didn't go through it. A lot of people don't go through it. Give it time. It will get there. It will get there. If your life's experiences, social life, daily routine, if it feels messy and discombobulated and all over the place, and stuff's dripping all down, well, sometimes those are the best burgers. But actually embrace it, understand it, acknowledge it, and see what's healthy and what's not healthy. Like, seriously. And if you feel like you're missing some flavor, more spice, more salt, don't be afraid to add a little something extra. See, we show our growth by choosing the specific ingredients with intention. And a lot of times it's hard, right? Because we find ourselves in situations where we may not have complete control and say over those ingredients. But why it's even more so important that when we do have the opportunity, that we specifically choose those ingredients that we want to be represented not only in ourselves, but reflected. We show our grace by respecting everybody else and the way that they're building their burger, building their life, building their foundation, building their relationships. I might not like pickles and onions, but that individual does. I'm not going to shame them for it. I'm not going to put them down for it. I'm not going to hold anything against them. We show our reflection, our meal, our giving back by being present, being kind, maybe even offering a seat at the table, acknowledging what someone else is doing, respecting them for that, admiring from that, affirming them. Three G's with DD. Growth, grace, giving back. We grow, we give grace, and we give back. One layer at a time, as we stack our burger, as we have our life. So, International Burger Day, 2026. Enjoy it. It's a nice little ditty, nice little reference point for us. Take your time. Build your life. Go at your own pace. Don't be lazy. Don't be afraid to switch some things up. Most importantly, though, quality ingredients, quality choices. Understand how the experiences, circumstances, relationships shape our lives and how we help shape others' lives. It's going to be a great weekend. Everyone enjoy the weather. May is wrapping up. By the time we come back, it'll be the month of June. This year is flying by, almost halfway over. I think the middle of the year is like around like July 2nd or July 3rd if you do it by calendar days. But lots happening, lots going on. There's FIFA on the horizon, Major League Baseball. There's all the 250 celebrations coming up in and around the country. And, you know, just on a closing note, like our hamburgers, like our cheeseburgers, like the way that we build our lives, no matter where we're at, what we're doing, what we're experiencing here in this country or around the world, be respectful of other individuals. Be respectful of their choices. Be respectful of the way that they're going about their life. Hold to your standards. Hold to your convictions. Impress upon other individuals how wonderful and beautiful it is to have an open seat at a table for someone to come and sit down and share their life's experiences, no matter what they look like, who they love, what they practice. It can be simple. It can be simple. This doesn't mean you throw the baby out with the bathwater. This doesn't mean you stop using common sense. This doesn't mean that you're living on extremes. Be open. Be respectful. Have a great weekend. I'll be back on Tuesday. I think it'll be June the 2nd, which is crazy. I mean, I keep saying it again. Check everybody out on the Colts Sports Digital Network, SR1029 The Game. Proud partners with the Odyssey app. I know On Cue should be coming up. I'm sure he's going to be going on more and more about the NBA, NHL. Lots of football news starting to peak up as well. OTAs are going on. Will A.J. Brown be traded? Yes, he'll be traded. Is everything all settled with Josh Jacobs in Green Bay? We don't know what's happening with that. Will the Cincinnati Bengals actually have a good team this year because Joe Burrow says it's the best collection of talent he's ever seen since he's been in Cincinnati? All those questions, all those comments, all those opinions be answered later on another edition of Ain't That Right. Take care, everyone. Have a great day. Be safe.